I started fasting last week.
She said the F word. Oh my gosh.
OMG.
Hey guys, what's up, y'all? I'm Alyssa.
And I'm Goldie.
And we're friends.
Yes!
And we go to the same school. I just wanted to make this channel just to share what life is like
In college. As a Christian.
Yeah. And just living out this faith at school.
So we really just want to take this channel and just make it a free space where we can express what God has laid on our heart, and so that you all can see that it's okay to be you. It's okay to be Christian on campus, especially in college. This is something so unique. And we go to a private Christian college, so it may be different from where you are. I don't know, a different public university, it may be a different story there, but this is for everyone. And so we're excited to start this journey, and we hope that you come along for the ride.
Yes, y'all. So the first way that you can make room for God is to
be intentional.
Yes, guys. If you're not intentional and you're not pursuing and specifically making room for God,
then do you really want to know Him?
Do you really want to know Him?
Do you want to?
Do you really want to be this Christian that you say that you are? If you were on campus, like you were in college, and you had a friend on campus that you walked by, would you just be like, and just keep walking, or would you be like, oh my gosh, hey girl, like I know when
engage in conversation.
Goldie on campus, I'm like, what's up, girl? We each other a hug. I'm like, what's up? Like, how's life? We are Christians. We're believers.
He wants a
relationship. And we know He's there every single day.
Yeah.
So if He's there each day, we don't just walk around like and not acknowledge Him or engage Him in conversation. Yeah, we walk by God on campus.
Exactly. What are we gonna do?
God.
We want relationship. We want more communication.
Exactly. So, prayer is a good way to just speak to God and just have that conversation like you would with a friend, because He hears us. So we can be able to have that honest conversation and just tell Him how our day is, or God, I'm frustrated with this. I gotta see on this test. Please give me grace to talk to this professor, or whatever else you have to do.
Anything. He's listening to everything. So even the small things that you feel like, God doesn't care about this, He cares about every single detail of your life. So just make sure you be intentional with just speaking to Him, because He wants that, and He's waiting for us. He's waiting for us because He's always there. But what are we doing? Get into your word, y'all.
This stuff will smack you in the face.
Yes, and get into it for yourself. Don't do it for other people, or to say that, oh, I read this, or I'm reading my Bible. What are you doing? Don't do it for those reasons, but get into it for yourself. Make sure you know the word for yourself. And so often, and I'm so thankful for pastors and people who teach the gospel and teach about Jesus. But we need to know this stuff for ourselves. So the things that you hear in church, you never know. And so the things that we hear in church and all these other places, we should back it up by going to our word.
This is correct.
And hearing it for ourselves, seeing it for ourselves. And that's another way that God comes into our life, and that He fills us, and that that void, that empty void that's inside of us. That's the way those things are filled, by getting into our word.
Yeah.
So just be intentional with reading your word and picking up your Bible, even if you hear other people saying it.
Yeah.
Make sure that you know that for yourself, and that way you're able to discern. You're able to battle against the enemy. Use this as your sword.
Yes, this is the sword,
exactly.
Y'all. And I also feel like a lot of times people are like, oh, I don't understand. Like, it's boring or whatever. Guys, if you read what's in this word, it's anything but boring, number one. But number two, even ask God, like, God, I want godly wisdom and understanding. Like, I'll pray sometimes, like, especially the days that I'm like, okay, I can't focus today for some reason, or like I don't really feel like doing this. And I'll just be like, God, breathe on these words. Like, I want these to jump off the pages and like speak to what's going on, because every single thing in here can apply to an area of your life.
Every single thing.
So just asking God to breathe on the pages, and it literally will like speak to you. So and get a translation that also you understand. And
we have no excuse nowadays. Like, I have the KJV version, and sometimes I don't understand everything in here. Yeah. But like we have our phones, our Bible apps. So if you don't understand, just go research. Like Alyssa's sister said, like Google. Like this stuff helps. Like they have different versions on the Bible app. So there's really no excuse.
Okay, y'all. Number 2.
Français.
Y dos en español is to
wait on the Lord. Yes.
This is hard. Okay, guys, I'm not gonna lie.
Patience is hard. Push yourself aside. What you want, what Goldie wants, what Alyssa wants.
What I want. And be like, God, what do you want? Oh, we're 21 years old. Let's get
real.
Let's get real in here. There have been times where I'm like, okay, this person has reached out. And
should I
accept this invitation? Should I get this meal?
Should I get it? Huh.
Should I get it? And I feel like there's always like a halt, like a... And then I'm just like, God, he loves you. Like, he is a Christian.
He is enough.
He's nice.
Oh, we're talking about the guy. I thought you were about...
Yeah. Wait, what?
Before you said something, I thought you was talking about God. I was like, he is enough.
But yeah, there have definitely been times where I'm like, okay, God, this person is a believer. They have the things on my list. Guys, I have a list.
Check them off.
I have a list that I check off. I'm like, they got this, and this. And I'm like, God, why are you saying no? But I feel like God is saying, like, wait on me.
Like about a month ago now, maybe a little bit longer now, I prayed that God would send me a husband. But
haven't we all prayed that prayer before? Let me just check, because I have.
But like a few weeks ago, like 3 weeks ago now, I had a prayer and I was just like, actually, God, I take that back. Lord, I pray that you don't send me anyone yet. I'm not ready. I want to know you for me. I want to make room for you. And honestly, the desires that I had to have a husband at this point right now is they're not there right now. They're gone right now. And it created a lot of space for God to intervene into my life, because I'm not thinking about this person or this person, or like, God, who's going to be my husband, like, or like, looking and being aware of people on campus or wherever, like, maybe I'm going to miss my husband. I'm not thinking about all of that. Instead, my focus is on knowing who God is. Yeah. And so it's just something about sacrificing your fleshly desires.
As human beings, we are flesh. Like, it's going to be just natural, just like, I want this, this, and this, and this, and this. But then there's something about putting a halt on that.
Stop.
And really allowing God to be like, this is what you need to do.
Yeah.
And like, that's honestly when things happen in your life.
Things start working. And
I feel like at some point I'm like, I'm reading my Bible, everything, like, so God can see that I'm doing good, so he can finally send me my man.
Let's not be like that, though. And that's another thing. And we talked about being intentional earlier. Make sure your intentions and your motives are good. Like, when I prayed that prayer to God, like, don't send me anyone, the intentions behind that was that I wanted God. Not that I wanted God to see that I was doing good and I wanted to be rewarded with a husband. No. My intention is that I want to get close to God. I want all the distractions to go away.
Yeah.
And I want to know God for me. And so make sure the intentions and your motives behind what you're asking for are good. And this goes for everything, not just like relationship. That's just an example that we have. But everything. How can you push things aside and allow God to come through? How can you wait on the Lord? What things are you putting before God? Like, are you putting your schoolwork before God? Are you putting work before God? Putting other people before God? How can we wait on the Lord? Wait on the Lord to do what it is that he wants to do in our life.
And knowing him for yourself.
Exactly.
And not just taking what people say and just be like, oh yeah. Like, even in high school, there were some people, like, we'd be having a debate about Christianity or another religion. Yeah. And then people would be looking to me like, what do we believe about this?
Like, what do we believe?
Like, what do you believe? Like,
exactly.
So know
why wouldn't you want to have why wouldn't you want to know those things for yourself?
Yeah.
Be specific. That is good.
And you know yourself too. Like, the same thing that I have to put guardrails in my life to make room or whatever, may not be the same for Goldie, and the same thing for her. The things that God tells her to do, like, oh, I can't watch this show, or I can't do this, and
like our boundaries are different.
Our boundaries are different because we have we're different people, and different things like the enemy will have for each person. So like, we all know what those things are in our life. So like, be intentional and also make room by creating that space.
Yeah, create that space.
And then a third way that you can make room for God is by fasting. Have you ever felt like you wanted to be closer to God, or you wanted to know more about God, but you didn't know where to really start or how that could fit in your life?
I was actually feeling like that a couple weeks ago. And I went to this conference and everyone was so on fire for God. Actually, it was April's conference. This conference and everyone was just so on fire for God. And I'm like, I want that. Like, I want that. And I've been like walking in my faith for just almost a year now, which is so exciting. Like in March, it'll be like a year. But I'm always like, I want that. Like, I want to be on fire for God. I want to be sold out for Jesus, you know? And so I started fasting last week.
She said the F word. Oh my gosh.
OMG. The F word. Yeah, I started fasting last week and I'm like, Lord, I really want you to reveal yourself to me. I want to know what you want from me. And those things, I think that's the start to finding out and realizing that you can be sold out for Jesus. You can be on fire for the Lord. And through that fast, God will start revealing things to you. He will start speaking to you. And it's just a way to sacrifice your fleshly body and what you want, your desires, and just make room for God.
A lot of the times where I'm like trying to seek an answer about something, I'm like, a huge decision, I don't know what to do, God. Like, I don't know what school to go to. I don't know if I should marry this person. I don't know if I should do X, Y, and Z. And God is saying like, okay, you really want to hear my voice? You need to quiet your flesh. If I want to go to one school over another one, like, I don't know if that's me talking or if that's God talking.
Exactly.
So like, a good way to hear God's voice is to fast, because you're quieting your flesh, which is always like, give me more food. You always give it what it wants. Instead of like listening to that, like when you quiet this flesh and like giving it what it wants, you're allowing the spirit to be like, okay, now I can come and you can hear me clearly now.
Like if someone would have told me to fast last year, which you should do it on your own time and when you feel like it's necessary, but I feel like I wouldn't have been prepared to do it. And so I'm just really glad that God has like that. I mean, just where the mindset that I had last year, like I wasn't as like, I don't know, I just didn't have the mindset where I wanted to fast. And so now it's like, I do want more of God. I want this, Lord. And so it's like, I would have never thought I can stop eating chicken. For, a week now. But it's happening and I'm actually really enjoying it. We have a ton of energy. So it's just been great. If you can't control what goes inside of your body, how are you going to be prepared to battle when the enemy tries to attack? Or how are you going to be prepared to hear God's voice? Like, you're going to have your guard down. And so it's just like something about controlling what goes inside of you. And you can be more prepared in hearing the Lord's voice, discerning the Lord's voice, and discerning what's good and what's bad.
If you guys never tried fasting, I'm telling you, it would honestly change your life. Like it changes a lot of things. It changes the way you view God. It just makes you even get closer, because you honestly do feel like you're just diving your word more and you're just asking him for just even help. Like when you're hungry and you're like, oh, I really want this cupcake right now. It's like, God, just give me strength.
That fried chicken really looks good right now.
Yes, and he'll give you that strength.
Yeah, he will.
People, he will give you that strength.
Thank you guys for listening. We're getting towards the end of our chat, but before we go, we want to invite you all to join us in reading scripture, a verse and passage that God has laid on our heart. We're reading from Revelations 3, verses 19 through 20, and it reads, I correct and discipline everyone I love, so be diligent and turn from your indifference.
Verse 20 says, look, I stand at the door and knock. If you hear my voice and open the door, I will come in and we will share a meal together as friends.